Welcome to The Writer's Dream. This is a show where authors are able to talk about how they write their books, how they publish their books, and how they market their books. And you can find us here at LTV. Just look for the videos and you will get a schedule of when we're aired here at LTV. I'm also on Facebook. Just look for The Writer's Dream. I'm on YouTube, but YouTube you have to look for my name, Linda Maria Frank. My picture will come up. Just click on the picture and all of my interviews will come up. And there are really quite a few interviews. If you're interested in writing, publishing, marketing, or just reading some pretty good books and getting in touch with some local talent on Long Island, then I think you'll enjoy these interviews. We're also on Cablevision, channel 20 at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest, Stephanie Rabell. And Stephanie is one of the most important people for authors that there is. And why do I say that? Because let's face it, writing the book is a joy. Publishing it is, you're able to accomplish it, especially in this world of indie publishing, but marketing is a bear. Okay, and so Stephanie is a person who offers, especially indie writers, some wonderful marketing tools, I will say. So, Stephanie, introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so much, Linda, for having me on the show. I appreciate you. My name is Stephanie Rabell, and I am the owner of Book and Wine Lovers Marketing, and I specialize in hosting virtual book tours for authors where they will get book reviews. They'll get interviews through live, like for example, like with Linda, or just any live streaming podcast or YouTube, Instagram Live, and blog posts. Also by working with me, you would get a lot of connections, because once you have a virtual book tour, you just don't go into my files. I will always keep in touch with you. A lot of time I'm hooked up with a lot of podcasts. So for example, I might get an email from a podcaster or a text saying, do you have anybody for tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.? So, my people know that I might text them at 10 o'clock at night saying, can you do this podcast? And of course, they're going to want to jump on it because podcasts are so popular now. There's a wait. There's always like a wait. They're waiting in line to get in. So of course they'll do it. And I also will remind them about contests and book fairs and stuff like that. So I'm always keeping in touch. I'm always giving them free either information or free gigs. So you just, once you're done working with me for that particular book, you're never really done with me. And usually the authors come back for their next book anyway. I also connect authors with book clubs where they would, the book club would pick their book, decide to work with that author, and then the author will do a Zoom with that book club. So the authors make really nice connections with book clubs. If the author is local and the book club is local, then we would do something together. A lot of times we would, meet at a restaurant, maybe have dinner with the author. We've done that plenty of times, which actually is a lot of fun because it's more casual, And I also do social media marketing for authors as well. A lot of authors don't have time to do their own social media marketing, so I'll do that for them as well. Just, a bunch of services to help authors get their books out there. I mean, that's my main goal, is to help authors get their book out there, get it noticed, and, get it in the right reader's hands, like the perfect reader. Because there's so many readers out there, you want to get the right one.
So you gave out just a really lot of information. And what I'd like to do is kind of pick it apart, because somebody who's new at this they don't know what a blog tour is. They don't know what a blog spot is. They really, I remember.
Yeah.
We went through all this. So why don't we start with how to contact you?
Okay, you can contact me a few ways. You could contact me through my website at all one word, bookandwineloversmarketing.com, all one word, or you could reach me on my Instagram at Book and Wine Lovers Marketing, and then just the number one. I had to change my Instagram account, whatever. I don't even want to go there with Instagram issues. Um, or you can email me at bookandwinelovers@gmail.com.
Oh,
And
so
I'll
it's
be more than happy.
bookandwineloversmarketing.com.
Yep.
Okay, so we contact you, and what do we tell you? What do we ask
That
you?
you're interested in learning more about my services. And we
Okay,
could just go from there. This way I'll find out, I'll ask you, what are you looking for? What do you want to, what's your end product? What do you want to happen? And then we'll discuss it. If the services that I have don't fit your needs, then I'll make up something for you. And no budget is too small. If you only had X amount of dollars, okay, let's figure it out. And I'll give you whatever I can for your budget.
okay, so I think this is a really good idea. So then what information do you need from the author to get started?
Usually authors will send me their headshot, their book cover. Sometimes they'll send me their book, the print copy or the ebook or audio, whichever they would like. And a media kit if they have one. I suggest all authors make a media kit, and if you don't even have that, then do a sell sheet, which is a one pager, basically selling your book. You have to have at least a media kit or a sell sheet.
Well, what's in a media kit?
The media kit just has a lot more information in it, and it's a few more pages, and maybe it might look more fancier, like with more pictures and stuff. It might have reviews on it or testimonials from
Okay.
from readers.
Awards.
Yes, awards, book contests. Maybe they became a number one Amazon, seller or something. Um, it might
Like
have
links to other
all
things
the
that they've
links
done.
and book club. It might even have like a book club link where they have questions for a book club discussion questions. And then the sell sheet is just basically selling just the one book, where the media kit might have more than one book on it, but the sell sheet is just a one pager, just to kind of like get someone's attention. Like basically you're trying to sell somebody the book, not necessarily a reader, but somebody either like me or a podcaster, somebody like you, just something to get them interested in the book and the author.
All right, suppose the person who contacts you really has no idea of anything. So you're
That
going to
happens
tell them,
every day.
yeah, you're going to tell them how to do the sheet for the book.
Yeah, I'll hold
One
their
of,
hand the whole way.
one of the things that bothers me most, because I have applied for contests, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is they want me to boil down my book to 25 words. Boy, that drives me nuts.
It's hard. It's hard. It's extremely hard.
I have just read the book. It's good. That's my 25 words, not even that. So yeah, but I mean that's just my editorial comment. Okay, so we're on our way, and what's the blog tour going to be like?
Oh, the blog tour is really fun. The readers, will I'll get a whole bunch of readers who are interested in reading the book. It's not going to be somebody who, say I'm doing historical fiction. I'm not going to allow someone who reads fantasy to be on this blog tour because they don't read historical fiction. So you have to kind of weed out people.
Mhm.
I verify their Goodreads account and their Amazon account. I want to make sure that they are, say for example, I'm doing a historical fiction. I want to make sure that they do read historical fiction. I want to make sure that they are posting reviews. Like I'll vet these readers. And I've been in business now long enough that the readers that I have, they're all vetted. I mean, I do get new people that I will have to vet, but it's not like when I started out, I'd have to vet everybody. But now it's just, a few people a day, say. But I definitely will make sure that they're active in the community of reading. They can't just be just some old Tom, Dick, and Harry saying, "Oh yeah, I want to read this book." It has
Yeah,
to be
so
somebody that's
so
verified.
you really almost like have a stable of reviewers.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So on the blog tour, what's happening is your book is going to a person and they're going to write a review. And the result to the author is that they see these wonderful reviews, and then the reviews go out on your website, your
Well,
blog.
what happens is with the blog tour, it's mainly contained to Instagram and Facebook and then somebody's own personal blog. So what they're doing is they're posting a picture of the book, and if they don't have like a good quality picture, I give, I make the graphics and they can use that graphic, and they'll write about, reading the book, what they liked about the book. Like I'm I really micromanage the readers. I will give them a whole big email stating that this is a positive book tour. That I mean, people do have the right not to like the book, but if they don't like it, then that's fine. Write your review on Amazon and Goodreads, but I don't want you on the book tour itself because it's just positive. Because I'm working for the author, everything has to be positive. And if you give if you give 3 stars or less, then I want to talk to you and just kind of find out why. And let's just say, well, I mean, sometimes it's really silly. I didn't like so and so's character. Really?
No, I know. They really are nitpicky.
Yes. So then I'll say, well, what character did you like? Well, I really liked Joe. All right. Well, then let's write about Joe and tell everybody how fantastic Joe is. Or I might say, let's just say, all right, let's not even like really talk about your review. Let's talk about if you were going to cast them in a movie, what movie stars would you use for the particular characters? So kind of staying away from the negative part and bringing in a positive. So there won't be any negative talk at all on the book tours. And I also tell the readers, don't talk about any other book but so-and-so's book, the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there will be other people, it has happened. That's why, like, you learn from trial and error. I've been in business long enough to know that they don't mean to do that. It's just, they just do, So it's very micromanaged, and it's all personal. It's the one-on-one. They get to contact each reader personally, because once the reader posts their review, say on Instagram, the author gets to post a comment, thank you for reading my book, and then they can even message them if they wanted to and say, hey, thank you for reading my book. Would you like to read book number 2? Type of thing. So it's making connections for the authors as well. If the author is not comfortable, making comments on Instagram or Facebook or messaging them, then it's not worth their money, because this is their time, their chance to make all these connections with these readers. It's work. I mean, I'm doing the majority of the work, but during the book tour itself, that for that 1 week, the authors have to be able to comment. They don't have to like sit there and watch their phone all day. They could do it, at the end of the day and just, comment along, the end of the day, but they really need to take advantage of that time.
See, I also find that that's something that you will take a service, or it could be a free service, but they never explain to you. You really have to micromanage this thing. You just think they're doing it, and then things are going to magically happen.
Oh, no.
They don't explain to you that you have to be involved in this. So, okay, so now we've decided that, I love this blog tour thing. Now, I don't know how to post on social media, plus the fact that I have a full-time job, and I don't have the time for it, especially if I'm watching the blog tour. My brain is exploding. Okay, so what do you do with social media?
You mean in terms of the author not knowing how to post?
Yeah, you said that you would do that for them.
Okay. The author doesn't have to like post anything. It's the readers are posting a picture, say, of the book, and then their review.
So they post.
Yeah, the readers post.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, the readers do all the work. They don't put how many stars. They just post a review. They leave the stars for Goodreads and Amazon. If there is someone, I'll ask them personally, like, oh, how many stars did you give? If they give 4 and 5, then I'll post it in stories saying, oh, look, so-and-so got a 5-star review. But they don't post the stars. Not too many readers do that. They prefer not to. They just want to say that they love the book, and if you really want to know the stars, then just go on Goodreads. But the only thing the author has to do is follow the blog tour. Like I'll make a graphic with all the dates and who is going to be posting. Like on January 3rd, Mary Jane Love Books is going to be posting. So go to Mary Jane's Loves Books, just go to her Instagram account and you'll see it. but I also have the readers tag the author. So this way, the author it'll come up on their feed. I mean, I know it's a lot because I see it's so hard to explain all this because there's so much involved. Like,
I know, but that I think that in explaining it, first of all, a person, somebody who's new to this,
and I've had that all the time. Just every day there's a new
they have
author.
no idea how much is out there to do, but at
Mhm.
least you are apprising of it. And so they'll take one piece and they'll work through one piece.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had authors just let's do an Instagram account together. Let's sign you up right now. I mean, literally their first time they're on Instagram, and then once they're on it, they love it. Now they can't get off of it.
I noticed that on the Long Island Railroad. There is no one who's not on the phone except me. I mean, that's my peacetime. But
Yes.
okay, so podcast. Do you have a podcast?
I have a show called Peeling Back the Label where I interview authors live on Instagram. And it's trying to get like their behind the scenes, like what they experienced behind the scenes while they were researching the book. If they don't have any like good stories, then I'll just ask them just regular author questions, like whatever you would ask on your show. Just trying to get their word out there. I don't charge for for the show or anything. I just want authors to get noticed and get out there.
Yeah.
Let other readers see. Mostly it's books that I read, and then I'll ask the authors if they want to come on. But I also will do the book tours, like any book tour I do, I'll have them on as well. And I've had where authors never even did a live Instagram. And one particular one, we actually practiced for like a half hour. I took the time with her and showed her how to do it. And oh wait, now she knows how to do an Instagram live, and now she's the pro, and everything's all good. Like I said, I hold your hand. I take my time with you. I'm not one of those kind of book tour companies that it's like a meat market where you're just constantly, doing a million book tours. I couldn't do that. I would go crazy, Linda. I like to really take my time with them and really get their money's worth for the authors.
Yeah, and what happens is things are changing all the time as well. There's always new things, but I'm going to read some of the titles of your packages because I think they're enticing. One of them is Just a Slurp. I like that. Um, Last Sip, reviewers only. Mini
Hmm.
bottle. Okay. Full glass. Whole bottle. Magnum. Holy cow. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. But that's very enticing, and I think especially to the romance writer, the historical fiction writer, it's not so much the eighth grader. So, but,
No, no, no. You have to be
but you have
18
a targeted
18 and
audience,
over to review a book on my blogs.
and that's the to me that's another important thing is the targeted audience. Because if they even tell you when you pick keywords. Narrow down the audience. Don't put historical fiction. Put historical fiction set in Alabama or historical fiction about slaves' grandchildren who are now alive or whatever. You have to narrow it down because otherwise it's too wide. It just
Yeah, and
doesn't get
your
to
book
the
will never
audience
get
you want.
noticed because there's too many other people that are ahead of you. So you're 100% right, Linda.
And one of the other things that you do that I really like is I got this email from you, and the title of this email is How to Attract Readers Who Want to Read, I'm sorry, to want to review your book, a guide for authors. And this is so important because the first thing is build an author platform. Um, you have, again, that was just what we were talking about. You have to reach out to readers who want to read your kind of book. Um, and I mean, even if you're on Amazon, you notice that if you order a book and then underneath it is others who have ordered this book, ordered also these books, and they are so similar. Reach out to book bloggers and influencers like you. Utilize book review platforms. Yeah, I mean, I've gone on things like Reader's Favorites, and there's another one that I just saw today, and I can't remember the name of it, but there's a lot of them who just do reviews. Offer advanced review copies, which is also, I mean, but for that one, have to have already made the contacts, because who are you sending it to if you don't have any contacts?
Absolutely.
Run a book review campaign. Network with book clubs, which is a very interesting idea. And how do you find book clubs? You go to your local library. You can start there and ask them, you have a book club?
Hmm.
Um, Join author organizations who will then
Absolutely.
you network with everybody in the organization and share the information. Um, Leverage your mailing list. Yes, I have a newsletter and it has a huge mailing list. But a lot of it is no good to me because the people are not local. And really, what I need to do is, I mean, for one thing, reviews is fine all over the world, but for other things, for events and stuff like that, it's not, it's useless. Like, people don't live on Long Island, they're not going to come
I'll
to a
hook you
craft
up.
fair.
I'll hook you up. Don't worry.
But
I'll,
I think that
I
this
will
is
hook you up.
good. But I think that this is such a good service because, I mean, even myself, who's been doing this for a while, there's so many things I really don't know. And I will tell you, and also the listeners, the viewers, that be careful of packages because I really liked the company that I published my two last Annie Tilleries with. So what I did was I took their advertising package for $5,000 and I sent them 4 pages of stuff that I already did. And the first thing, and I have 3 Facebook pages. The first thing they sent me was how to set up a Facebook page. Right.
They
Okay.
didn't read it.
$5,000 for
They
this.
didn't read it.
I know. So be careful. There's also everybody wants their book to be made into a movie. Okay. So you can go to various companies and for $20,000, they will not do it for you, show you how to put your book on a catalog that producers look at for material for films. 20,000, you can do it yourself. So you really have to be very, very careful. My advice to the new writer is go cheap.
Hmm.
There's a lot of stuff out there for free, and there's also a lot of stuff like you for a reasonable amount of money. Um, and that really gives you great services. Right. So that's just my take on it. That's
No,
from my
I
own
totally
experience.
agree. Because there are a lot of blog tour companies out there as well that, will promise you, oh, I'm going to get you all these reviews. Well, I've checked and I've looked at, and meanwhile, it's just a post about the book. It's not,
That's
they're
right.
not posting the review, but the author's paying for, they're expecting more reviews than author spotlights. I
Mhm.
mean, they want the reviews.
Well,
They
that's
depend
enough.
on
They
those.
have to ask the company if they do reviews because I did a blog tour and that's all it was. It was really just they posted the book, made a few comments. They probably showed some interviews I did or whatever, but they never got me any reviews. And reviews, reviews, reviews. That's what you need.
Hmm.
And if you're self-published and you want to then pitch your book to a traditional publishing company, they want to know how many copies you sold on Amazon. I mean, after 50 Shades of Grey, do you know any book that sold thousands of
I
copies
know,
on
I
Amazon?
know. It's
And
so
so they
hard, the
make it
competition.
impossible.
Hmm.
They really make it very, very difficult. All right, so we have about 2 minutes left, 2 or 3 minutes left. And what's your best advice besides taking your company, what's your best advice to authors, a new author,
I would
brand new?
say be comfortable being uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is, don't be afraid to, connect with readers. Don't, do networking. Don't be afraid to talk about your book. Don't be afraid to talk about your passions. Don't be afraid to, oh, I have a new book coming out. Don't be afraid to talk about it. A lot of authors feel they're not worthy. Oh, my book is not worthy. I'm not, Stephen King. And just don't be, you just have to do it. You just get out of your comfort zone and then just go for it. You put so much work into this, you'd be silly not to talk about your book. I'm not saying, please read my book, you have to read my book. I'm not saying don't, just
No,
casually, like you said, join the author groups. There's especially for the Long Island authors, there's a few author groups out here. Actually, there's more than a few. There's
Long Island
author
authors
groups, and then
group.
there's the specialized ones, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, romance or mystery. And then you can also go into like the whole kabang. And those authors will give you so much free advice. All you have to do is show up.
Yes,
So
yes, you have to be not shy about talking about your book, and also research, research, research. Make your computer your best friend, even though you hate it. I won't even tell you what my computer's password is because it's not nice. Because I'm not crazy about working on the computer, but it's essential. It's essential. And you have to get used to public speaking too.
that's like actually like the best way to sell your book. I mean, if you're really, if you're interested in doing public speaking, and I mean, there's so many outlets that you could, uh, you know, that you could do a group speaking at, and you could sell so many books. You just have to get out of your comfort zone.
It's absolutely
It's
right.
it's just like being a real estate agent. Like a real estate agent, they're making connections because you
Mhm.
never know who might want to buy a house. Same thing about an
Exactly.
author. You never know who's going to want to read your book, or you never know if there's going to be an opportunity down the road for you.
That's exactly right. And I
Mhm.
think we're pretty much out of time. Just give your
Yes.
website one more time.
bookandwineloversmarketing.com. All one word. I would love to hear from anybody. If anybody wants to, just give me a call and talk about book tours or just anything. I mean, I've talked on an hour on the phone with an author and she didn't use my business, but she just wanted to pick my brain. That's okay. I'll do that too. She'll call me another day and book a tour. So,
This was a pleasure, and and a lot of very good information. I'm really glad to have somebody like you on the show.
oh, thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate you having me. I learned a lot from you too.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you very much.